Lately, it's been a lot of the same thing. The internet wrestling community is toxic. Don't get on Twitter. Don't read this. I don't agree with this opinion. This is stupid. And it's honestly way worse than that. And I've been trying really hard not to say anything more, not to comment on it. I really don't engage in it. Most of the time, I don't even know what's happening. But my good friend Minnie posted a video talking about it. And I support her. I respect her opinion. And so I want to watch it and I want to give my take on it as well. Because the girls stick together in this community for the most part, especially those of us creators. There's not that many of us and we really, really do try to stick together.
Rhea Ripley posted this on X saying women's wrestling fans. So she generalizes a women's wrestling fan and says women deserve better, meaning that this is what they regurgitate, meaning that this is what they tweet out. But then in the same breath, they're also saying she's sleeping with her boss. That's why she's where she is. She should retire. She doesn't deserve it. She's handed everything and never worked for anything. I hope she gets injured. And then she ends it by cooking the IWC, saying, you guys are the real reason it's so difficult to be taken seriously as a women's wrestler. If you put as much effort into your own miserable lives as you put into degrading successful women, then maybe you would accomplish something yourself. Whether you're a dude or a girl, there's going to be shitty people on both sides, right? Supporting women doesn't mean that you're blindly supporting the entirety of the women's species. It just means that you're treating them equally. Basically, everything you do with the men, you do with the women. When a dude gets hate, it's mostly just because of their in-ring, their mic skills, their character. When women get hate, not only are you just talking about their entire work, you're also talking about their looks. You're talking about the way they speak. You start making and creating these weird ass lies. Oh, it's probably because she's sleeping with the boss and that's why she's where she's at. Totally negating the years of work they put in to be in that position. This is why women are always being outspoken. And this is why women are just saying, hey, we want to be treated equally. If you don't like me, tell me it's because my content freaking sucks. Tell me it's because you don't like my opinions. I don't need to hear about what your opinion is on the way I look, on the way I speak. Listen, if you say, I don't really like her content because she's always yelling and she's loud, that's fine. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about how I am supposed to be soft-spoken because I am a woman and men want to hear me speak like this in a very calming and soothing way. No, you go yourself. I get it all the damn time.
I was trying to find a good place to stop there. So I was not caught up on anything that happened. I was working, I got on Twitter and I saw what Rhea had tweeted out. I didn't know the context as to why. But as a woman in the internet wrestling community or whatever I don't know. I'm honestly kind of tired of dubbing the thing anything. I've been on the receiving end of this many times in different ways. And Minnie's right. Minnie has a point. I am a very clear and direct communicator. I have been that way for years. It's taken a lot of therapy and it's taken a lot of time. I'm what someone would call, I've always been very codependent. So I would change the way that I feel, the way that I speak, the way that I do anything in order to accommodate somebody else, to accommodate somebody else's feelings and to make things easier and to avoid conflict in general. That is how I had always been. I am now 32 years old. I have experienced quite a bit of life in that time. My 20s were very up and down, very chaotic, but I also was working very hard and I burnt out and crashed very, very hard. And I still do that to myself. But I was raised in a way that was kind of, don't ruffle any feathers. Don't upset anybody. Keep the peace. I also come from a family in a place where we don't discuss things, where things just happen and it's just easier to not discuss how we're feeling or if we're upset because then we're not upsetting anybody else. So what I have undone is the fact that I can now communicate with other people. I have zero problem telling someone on the internet, hey, maybe you shouldn't say that. Hey, I don't like the way that makes me feel. And then that turns into, well, this is what you signed up for. This is what you signed up for. You're going to be on the internet. You need to have tougher skin. I was having a really, really hard time a few months ago. I ended up actually deactivating my entire Twitter account. And the way the internet came after me was, it shouldn't have been surprising, but it surprised me a little bit. I was going through a lot. And while I do share a lot with the internet, there are a lot of things that I don't share. And it was a realization of, it was appalling because I wasn't surprised. It just hurt. You know, anybody can make fun of the way that I look. You can base everything off of looks because that's what the internet does. That's what people that hide behind a keyboard do. But I think we live in a culture and society now that we're perpetuating it, we're encouraging it, and we've made a safe place for people to do that. And it makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel important. Rhea Ripley was on the receiving end of that. Let's not actually cheer her accomplishments. Let's not actually give her the flowers that she deserves for everything that she has done at such a young age. Let's make it something else. No, she didn't actually work hard like any of the other Nepo babies. You know, she didn't work hard like Cody Rhodes. She didn't work hard like Randy Orton. She didn't work hard like Dominic Mysterio. We love all of them, right? But Rhea Ripley, from Australia, a place that is almost, 13, 24 hours in the future? I don't even know. They're in a completely different time zone on the other side of the globe. And we're not giving her props for making it. She was sleeping with her boss. She was doing this. All of the things that tweet said. I don't understand. And I don't think we're meant to understand. I don't think we ever will understand. But the reality of it is that that's a reality of where we are. And God forbid she stand up for herself. We're not allowed to stand up for herself. We're just supposed to sit there and take the abuse. We're just supposed to sit there and take the mean comments because, you're in a public spotlight. That thinking is from people that do not and will never have the cojones to sit on a camera and put themselves out there for the general public. They will not be able to do it because they wouldn't be able to handle the scrutiny themselves.
People are always talking about the way I talk, saying, why does she talk like a dude? That doesn't matter. I'm a person. If I talk like a dude, you support dudes, right? So if I talk like a dude, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I feel like people get lost with the saying, we support women, because just because you support one woman, that does not mean that you support women. That means that you support the one woman that fits into your sick little narrative of what a woman should be, or whatever certain traits that you think a woman should have. That's the only one woman that you support. And when that one woman doesn't get certain opportunities and other women do, you start bashing the other women because you're like, well, why would they get that? Oh, they're probably sleepy with the boss, or this person just shows off their body and that's where they're getting these opportunities. You could ride for your favorites.
I've always found it interesting that people that are the underdog, we root for. We want better for, push so-and-so, push Dakota Kai, push Zelina Vega, push all these people that are seen as the underdog. And then when someone is really riding that high and is popular and people are cheering for them, the crowd goes wild for them. Rhea Ripley has been on top for so long. No pun intended. Mommy's on top. But people are chanting for her. They love her. Everybody loves Mommy. People that don't even like professional wrestling know who Rhea Bloody Ripley is. And yet they have the gall to say things like she shouldn't. You don't want one of the most popular people to be in a title picture. It's just every single time someone is good and it's like, oh, well, now they're getting shoved down our throats. Up now they're Becky Hogan, now they're Rhea Hogan, now they're Cody Hogan. They were honestly doing it to Cody for a hot minute as well. So by that logic, nobody can ever get good. Like, they should have one little mini title reign and then they should never be included in the title picture again. We should have an ever revolving door of new people so that we don't ever have any iconic title reigns ever again. No more 17-time champions. Nothing like that. That's what you want. What?
I mean, you have to put other people down. I'm sick of people putting other people down, especially when it comes to women. You always have to put someone else down. I have been told, I like your content. You're not like so-and-so names a woman. And I'm like, don't do that.
Same.
You're not going to put them down to uplift my content.
Same.
Let me quickly get this out the way because it was so damn funny and ironic. And it just proves what I'm freaking talking about. I collaborated with a friend of mine in this space. I posted it under my channel. It was my video that I recorded, that I hosted, and I posted it under my channel, but I collaborated with the individual. We were having a discussion about women in the wrestling space, and someone comments underneath that post saying, yeah, we support so-and-so. We don't hate women here. And then a couple of my shooters were like, damn, Minnie just caught a stray, so you don't support Minnie? And they were like, oh, I totally forgot to mention her. Yes, we do support her. We support her and her. And then I clicked on their page. Not only were they not following me, which is whatever, I went on their X and I looked at their replies because that's how you can kind of see who people are. I looked at their replies and they were responding to some of my tweets that I was complaining about. One of them was like the IWC, but the other one was just like, dude, women get it hard, especially within the wrestling content creation space, because we get talked about our looks and the way we talk and just basically our physical traits. That was the damn tweet. This is what the video is about as well. And they were trying to argue with me about that.
Everyone wants to be right, man. They want to be so right.
People will support just one woman, max three women and say, I support women, but then hate on every single other woman. The crazy part about this business.
So I don't know if that was me or if it was her collaborating with someone else, but Minnie's one of my best friends in this space. So this happens all the time. And I was crushing out about it for a minute as well, because I don't try to be like any other woman. And believe it or not, the women in this space stick together. We support each other. I've had very few negative if any, with women in this space. That's a content creator. But I would have people in my comment sections being like, you should do this like so-and-so, like a different creator. You should do more of this. And I responded in a way that was like, well, if she's already doing that, why should I do it? That's her bag. That's her thing. That's what she likes to do. Why can't I be Wheezy? Why can't I be Wheezy and do my thing? Everything gets turned into a competition. Everything gets turned into a comparison. And I'll use names. I don't care. The amount of times that I have to hear, oh, Santi Zap is my number 1 streamer, and then Wheezy Blonde is my number 2 streamer, and then Minnie Portable is my number 3 streamer, and then Conman, my husband was here, and then Conman 167 is my number 4 streamer, and they have like a fucking ranking list. We've gotten into this world because of content creation, because the content creators do it, where we have to rank every single thing in our lives, and it just doesn't need to be that way. I don't remember being that way when I was a teenager and college kid, consuming all of my favorite vloggers and YouTube creators at that time. And YouTube is a very different place. Content creation is a very different space at the moment, and it worries me because I'm not sure where it's headed or if it's even going to be palatable, consumable, digestible in the next 5 years. I don't want to hear you're the best, you're my favorite over so-and-so, I like you better than, I don't want to hear it. Like Minnie said, I don't want to be lifted up at the expense of putting somebody else down. All of us work so very hard. And to the point of arguing with someone about the fact that women have it harder, the most popular WWE content creators that I have worked with in this space, even just sports creators in general, the most popular males have told me that it is harder. I think I have only had one POS creator that I don't speak to anymore that said it was easier for a woman, and it's not. It is a battle no matter who you are. But when it comes to sports, we're not looked at as a voice of authority. We're not looked at as someone that has this wealth of knowledge. We oftentimes are looked at as an object, because that is what either the people around you, your phone, or society has made you believe, that a woman is here to be an object for you, to be a servant for you, to do whatever it is that you want them to do. To that same point, I am a very independent woman. I am in a relationship, in a marriage, and was raised in a way that I do not depend on anybody else. My goal in life was never to get married and be a servant. My goal in life was never to get married and have children and be a homemaker. I had dreams and drive and desires, okay? And I feel like I am pursuing all of that, and I have done that most of my life. But every time I'm pondering something, every time I have a question about something, I am berated with unsolicited advice, and I am told how to do what I do by people that would never be able to walk a day in my shoes. And then I'm looked at as crashing out or emotional because it frustrates me. Because I am a grown adult. I know people think I'm younger than I am, but I'm about to be 33. I have a home, a mortgage, a house, everything that is in this office. I have funded myself with my own hard-earned money from working my ass off. I wasn't handed anything. Everything that I have gotten, I have worked insanely hard for, and I have watched men in this space waltz through doors that I have had to literally kick down. And for somebody that is not in my position to tell me that I am wrong, that it's not that way, everybody just wants to dim down your hard work and act like it's not a thing. And we're just supposed to roll over and accept it. And it's just insanity to me.
This is, people are going to get certain opportunities over other people. And we get that. That's something in wrestling that unfortunately is a part of the game. But if one of my favorite wrestlers doesn't get that opportunity, but somebody else does, I'm not going to wish them harm. I'm not going to wish that they get injured or create all these dumb little narratives so people can turn their backs against that person. That's not a way to support your favorite wrestler. That's not a way to support women's wrestling. You're putting other women down to uplift certain women. You're criticizing their ring gear. You're criticizing what their character is. And if you just put that energy to start a movement for them on X, I think you would do a better job with getting your favorite to maybe be a part of the main event, to get a title. Look at Zelina Vega. She just got her first title after how damn long, and she has a whole army on X rooting for her all the way. I'm a Zelina Vega shooter too, okay? So I was a part of that movement. And I was really upset when she didn't get the title and Lyra did, but I never once attacked Lyra. I was just talking about booking in general. I feel like the concept of having discussions based on how someone is booked, or criticizing the way that the company is taking their character, the way the company is taking a storyline, I think that's all fine and dandy, but for some reason that gets lost into all of this like cloud of stupidity, where then it just becomes like a cesspool of AI images and lies that are just being created, and it's all to fit your narrative. You're doing all of this to fit your own little dumb narrative. So tired of like the constant back and forth. And shout out to Biggie, because even Biggie was talking about how women, when they're 37, 38, 39, 40, they're being treated differently than the men who are main eventing WrestleMania and Backlash, who are holding the title, are a lot older or maybe the same age as them, but they don't get the same amount of hate that the women do. Dude, I'm looking at these comments and look at this idiot. More whining and crying from women wrestlers that are supposedly as tough as men. Yeah, dog, because we got dumb dudes like that on the internet. Oh, but aren't you supposed to be as strong as men? Don't you guys want to be treated equally? Yeah, that means your dumb little incel mind. Get out of my comments. Get out of her comments. Get out of women's comments trying to prove that you're this like big boy.
Always.
Me complaining and talking about my real life experiences,
how dare you,
taken away from men. I'm not taking away from your hardships. I'm not taking away from anything that you have to experience. That is also difficult. And if you need to talk to somebody, please talk to somebody. Go to a therapist. If you need to vent on X about something that is unjustly happening, then yes, you should talk about it. My experiences and what I'm complaining does not take away from your experiences. Anyways, that
she's about to end the video. I say all the time, since I have been on the internet, I've been on the internet since I was 12 years old. I was the first round of teenagers that started on social media. I was the first round of people that consumed YouTube content. And people treat me like I have not been on the internet a day in my life, like I can't handle comments or I can't handle certain things. I was on MySpace, okay? I was an emo kid on MySpace, and I had people following me that did not know who I was. I was way too young to be doing that, but that's the way that MySpace worked at the time. I grew up on Stickam. I grew up on, Chat Roulette. I grew up on Omegle. I was called some of the worst things. I've seen some of the worst things on a very unfiltered internet. And I understand that in a way that it's gotten worse. But back then, there was no filter. There was no way to get rid of the mean things that were being said. There was no way to get rid of the obscene things that people were trying to show you. So as a teenager on the internet, I've seen some shit. I am a big girl. I can handle it. But all I try to do is tell my experience, because there are other people out there that have the same experience, just like Minnie is doing right here. I get her. I feel her. I understand. And so it makes me feel good to see her say something that I feel. So that reiteration of, oh, wow, I'm not crazy. And my goal, and I don't think any of our goal is ever, like she said, to discredit somebody else, to discredit men. It doesn't have to be a competition. I understand that there are struggles that every person deals with, no matter what, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever. But to sit there and act like this isn't something that we deal with when you have never walked a day in one of our shoes, I think is just a very interesting turn of the way that society currently is. And we're so loud about it. We're so damn loud about it. And we just all think that we're right. And it's such an interesting, it's so interesting and crazy to look at and consume. You know, I'm allowed to share my life experience. I am allowed to express my frustration, and expressing any kind of frustration in a certain way is not, the immediate reaction to me should not be, just ignore the haters. I can't stand the word haters anymore. I can't. I'm not a fragile piece of glass that's going to fall apart because of some haters. I get more irritated when people treat me like I'm subhuman, as if I'm not allowed to say anything. I am just supposed to be like a dancing puppet on a screen that does not have, feelings or emotions or anything like that. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. I don't have to. I don't have to ignore anything that I don't want to ignore, because I truly believe that in ignoring some of the things that are going on, you're just allowing it to continue. You're not setting an example that it's not okay. Because a lot of the people out there that say some of the things that they say truly believe that those things are true and okay. I've experienced it firsthand, where I've corrected someone and they have apologized. Now, there are people out there that sensationalize it and they blow it out of proportion solely to get views, and it's clickbait. That's engagement farming. That is the state of social media right now, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. And I don't know what the answer is to fix any of this. I don't think that there is a way to fix any of it, but stop giving it so much gas. Just stop giving it so much gas. Allow people that are not hurting anyone to say what they're going to say. But this is just a very strange timeline to be in as far as comparison goes. And it makes it hard to be someone on the internet that creates content, because it makes it unenjoyable. It makes it unenjoyable to sit in a stream and have to read the same 6 to 10 things being regurgitated over and over because they saw someone else say it and they took it as fact. We are setting some really piss poor examples for everybody. And if you are younger and above, if you are younger, maybe between the ages of 16 and 25, I'm telling you, turn the fucking screen off every now and then. I will tell you, most every content creator I know that is my age, that you see I'm friends with, some of the top wrestling content creators, we are not attached to this. We use it mainly to create the content that we do. And in family times, off times when we are with each other, these are off. They're not off, but we're not using them. We are not doom scrolling and consuming every single thing that is being said or every report that's being reported. Not everything that you see on the internet is true. And I find that you guys are very, very bad at deciphering what is real and what is not. Don't automatically assume that anything that you see has any shred of merit to it, because that is the state of the internet currently. Think for yourselves, form opinions for yourself first, and then join the discussion. But until you learn to think for yourself, shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say in a condescending manner. We are done with it. I'm done with it. I am here to have fun. I've been here to have fun and to watch my friends deal with the things that I've dealt with, and to know that I myself was literally drowning, and all people could do was continue to want more and more and more and criticize me. We have some work to do. It might be the internet, but we are still real people. Try walking up to someone on the street and saying some of the shit you say behind a screen, because I guarantee you, you're going to get your shit rocked.